Just between us, guys. Quite a bit. I didn't really. They were very, very strict with things. People always assume there were endless amounts of wands and broomsticks lying around. There really wasn't. And actually, for the last 3 years, they did car searches on the way out to make sure that we didn't have stuck a nimbus in the trunk. I said this before, but I'll say it again. I actually, as a joke, Daniel was well up for this. I was going to handcuff him and duct tape his mouth and stick him in the boot of my car. Wait for the security to lift the trunk up and just sit down and we never did it in the end, but it was good fun. I have got away with a Slytherin scarf, Draco's Slytherin ring. He wore a silver Slytherin ring, which is very cool. But other than that, everything else you can just buy at the Wizarding World, so it's not really that unique anymore. Thank you, lovely.
And coming down in the middle, Tracy, I'm coming forward. Pink shirt right here on the end. Yes, stand up, please. Stand.
Hey.
If you were as Tom to go to Hogwarts, would, like in the Sorting Hat house, you
Duck Slytherin. Who would ever be in any other house? I mean, it just buys you room for manoeuvre that way, you know, if you just fancy missing a class one day. Stop it. That's okay. What about you, lovely? You look like a straight up Slytherin. Oh, it's a Gryffindor right here, bless her. She's so sweet.
Oh, Gryffindor, yeah. Young lady right here in the front row, or second row of the camera, stand up.
Hi.
Squishy when you look at
it. Big back. I don't know what you want me to say here. He definitely wasn't hard. That's what I'm That was a random hug. That was not in the script. And we did that take maybe 30, 40 times throughout weeks and weeks and weeks. He only ever hugged me once. It was a one-off thing that he just did on like the 25th take. He just was like, stuck his arm around me. And naturally, I was there like, what the hell is he doing? Someone say cut, this is not in the script. And oddly, they left it in. But it's a funny one. And even more amazingly is, when I watched it in London, at the London premiere, everyone found that bone-chillingly, like, spooky. And when I watched it in New York a week later, and it was the most funny thing on that whole film. I found it hilarious. And it was great, because, you know, it gave us a chance to find humour in things that we didn't think that were that funny. So it's great. It was very strange, very unsettling, and even Rafe, the actor, is pretty bloody terrifying as Voldemort. So yeah, needless to say, the fear in my eyes on that particular take was pretty genuine. Thank you, lovely.
All right, these are great questions. Young lady had the box held up for the longest time.
I did see the box. Hello, lady with the box.
Oh, the companion.
What's your favorite Harry Potter toy ever made?
My favourite Harry who?
Toy.
You know, it's amazing. A lot of this stuff doesn't come to the UK. You do merchandising to a whole nother level. I've seen collectible busts, whatever that is. I've seen figurines and slightly strange-looking dolls. So yeah, I mean, all the stuff I get to see here, really. I don't even have these things. So I suppose one day I should have to climb around these things and try and find some for myself. In fear, saying that, I do recall having a toy very early on. My brother took great delight in snapping the legs off of it and torturing it in fairly other ways he could think of. Yeah, I'm trying to think, what else is out there? Where's the lovely lady that asked the question? Where's the box lady? Here she is. What's your favourite piece? Do you have a favourite toy? Are you talking about Harry Potter stuff or just general toys? Wow, bless you. I fear it come across slightly vain if I said the same. Let's let's go with the collectible busts, shall we? Just, I like saying busts.
Young lady right there with the sweater in her hand.
How do you feel?
Do me a favor, stand up on the chair. Can you get up on the chair?
Let's do it. All right.
How do you feel working with all your cast members?
How do you feel working with all of your cast members? That's the question.
Daniel especially, such a diva, he wouldn't work without a coffee. No, everyone was lovely, everyone was very sweet. I think we were very lucky that the crew around us, as well as the adult cast members, some of the more professional actors we had on board, were incredibly nice and very, very down to earth, and I think everyone was very keen to remind us that we were very incredibly lucky. I guess like all things, after a few years of doing it, you start to get used to it. And you see people flying on broomsticks or someone having lunch with a goblin, and it doesn't raise an eyebrow. When that's happening, you need to start waking yourself up and reminding yourself that it's you're in a very special place. And Daniel actually was the forefront of that. He never seemed to get tired of it, and whenever, even the days when he wasn't filming, all 3 days out of a year, he would still come in and still make sure that everyone's spirits were high. I remember on a couple of days he came in as Maggie Smith's assistant, and he would just stand there and hold the umbrella for her just on set, because he really loved to be on set that much. And it was so nice to have someone who was, obviously the lead of the film and #1 on the call sheet, and he was such an inspiration to all the rest of us to kind of, enjoy it and make the most of it. Let's stop there before I get teary.
Alrighty, and we're here at the front. This young lady right here in the rose.
Okay, I wanted to know, what would be your Patronus if...
What would be my Patronus? What would yours be, more interestingly? A fox. I like that, a fox. That's quite similar actually. Mine would be a dog, I think. I'm not sure why. I love my dog, so maybe my Patronus would be my dog. Thank you. She's not very vicious or violent, but she's cool. What breed is she? She is a Chesapeake Bay Retriever, which probably won't mean a lot to most of you, but if you come by the stand later, I will be happy to show you a picture on my phone.
I was born, bred, and educated in the Chesapeake.
Are you kidding me? Quite. Okay. Well, I'm very excited because actually this is the first time my dog's over in the States. She flew over with me 3 weeks ago and is settling in beautifully. So yeah, thanks for treating us so well.
Wow. Blue sweater. What is that? A green dragon or what is that?
Yoshi.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. You can ask your question. Stand up. Jeez. Somebody repeat the question.
Favorite moment in Harry Potter.
I got everything apart from the favourite
Moment.
Gotcha. Sorry, lost in translation there. Favourite moment? I'm getting on short what was that? 1-5 with Daniel in the bar? No, it was fun. I did enjoy that for sure. The way I stomped Harry in the face, yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't good. It made me stop a good foot above his face on each take, even though it was very tempting. It's very hard to pick a favourite moment. It's a bit like saying pick a favourite moment of your childhood or of your life at college or your life at school. It's kind of hard to pick one. I have lots of fun memories of night shoots as kids there in forests and all sorts of that. And working with the animals there, we had great fun with that. It's very tricky to pick one. Actually, I can try and do one. And the second film, young Daniel and I had a fight on the wizarding table. Not so dissimilar from this setup, actually. And that was the first time we kind of got harnessed up and thrown around the room a little bit, so that was good fun. Any 14-year-old's going to enjoy that.
Black hair, glasses, white shirt. That's you. Stand up.
Hi.
If you could jam with any musician, who would you choose?
That's a good question.
If you could jam with any musician, who would it be?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a good. It'd be very cool to have a super jam, with
That's fine.
What's this?
Name a few, that's fine.
Okay, sure, let's do it. Let's stick John Lennon next to Bob Marley and shit, this could go on for a while. This could be a mega jam. Yeah, throw George Harrison for good mix. Yeah, those three and myself probably come up with a few good tunes, I think. Thank you, lovely.
Okay, now we're in this row towards the front now. Okay, you're very frantic. Yeah, here you go.
Hi,
Hi.
I would like to know what your most difficult moment in the Harry Potter movies was.
What was your most difficult moment in a Harry Potter
What was
movie?
really hard for you to act out?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because some scenes are difficult for some reasons and
Oh, you can say why.
well, sure. I mean, some scenes will be difficult physically. Sometimes you're just doing stuff that may not look very physical in the film, but when you do it for sort of 2 or 3 weeks at a time, it can be quite uncomfortable. Harnesses being the number one thing on that list, quite tight. But I suppose for me, growing up, was just before the 6th film, I realised that I was going to have to do some scenes with some of these great actors, sort of just one-on-one, where I didn't kind of have Daniel and Rupert to hide behind or anything like that. And that really sort of shook me up inside, thinking, oh my god, this is going to be a nightmare. I was very lucky that David Yates kind of held my hand and allowed me to have time with the actors before going onto the set, which really relaxed me, which was good. So yeah, that was definitely one of the hardest things that came out okay in the end, I think. That and